y'all, welcome back to Hey Love 2, and today's topic will be the cons of dating an older man. So if you would like to know my thoughts and opinions, stay tuned. We're gonna jump right into this thing because I have quite a few reasons why. I have cons of dating an older man. I don't know who needs to hear this. And I was one of the younger women from back in the day. I used to think and say this too. I prefer an older man because they're more mature. Mm-mm. You would be surprised if you heard women that are their age or around their age. They would tell you how pathetic some of them can be and that they act mature at that age. Now, it really depends on how much older we're talking. Are we talking somebody that's 4 to 5 years, 8 years, 10 years, 15, beyond? I mean, like, I don't know what you like, but that's saying it's just, I don't know, maybe it was probably wishful thinking, hopeful. That's what it should be, but that is not always the case. Please get that out of your head. Now, there are some older men that really are. So I don't want to lump them in with those that aren't, but that is kind of like making a blanket statement, and that's what I'm trying to get at, that it's not true. A lot of them do act childish for their age. Okay, so this will probably go for if you are, okay, so I'm a millennial. I'm not going to give my age, but I am a millennial. And say if you are in your, say mid 30s. I was going to say, how about early 40s? But how about your mid 30s? And let's just say you choose to deal with someone that's like 10 plus years. A lot of them, they sleep a lot. I'm not saying sleep around, which I may get into. I'm just saying they just sleep a lot. You could be watching a movie and they fall asleep. Now, granted, if they work a lot, then that's understandable. If they have health issues, which I will get into later, okay, whatever. But I'm just saying, for you young ladies out there who want to deal with somebody, because it's this thing where, date a guy that's older, 20 or something years older than you. Y'all go ahead if you want to. Be prepared for them to be sleeping a lot. Now, if you're the type that you are fun, bubbly, you are a socialite, you want to go hang out, you just may run into one that they sleep a lot. Now, some of them, they want to feel young, so they don't mind hanging out with the younger crowd because, whatever, it's an ego boost. So yeah, but like I said, they sleep a lot, so I don't want to fall into the rabbit hole of that. Now, depending on how much older, right? Because if you're dealing with someone that is 4 to 5 years younger, 4 to 5 years older, or that's not so bad because you do have, many things in common. It's not that big of an age difference. But if you're dealing with someone 8, 10, 12 and beyond, yeah, it's like the further you go down that yellow brick road, y'all don't really have enough in common as far as life experiences are concerned. So yeah, that can be kind of boring. However, there is certain things with the millennial generation and the generations prior. We do share certain things in common, as like, for example, we grew up with our parents telling us, make sure you get in before the street lights come on, right? So that goes for millennials, the Gen X, and baby boomers. So I'm just saying, certain things you have in common. Maybe, old school music that you could be into, and things like that. So yeah, certain things you can pick and see what you have in common, but the older that you go, like that you date, it's scarcity when you're coming into the likes. So yeah. Okay, this is another one. Sometimes they have this thing where it's kind of like they've been there, done that, right? So they're older, so they're just like, they'll kind of look at you more like, okay, you're childish. Like they'll make snide comments. They may bring up your age. They'll say and do things that I guess that are condescending, and it can be very disrespectful. And if you are a sensitive person, you can be, it's hurtful to you. But me personally, it really doesn't matter. I just don't like people being disrespectful. And if you're making snide comments, like I said, I know how I get down. Yeah, the way my mouth is set up, yeah, I don't even play with me. Don't even play with me. So yeah, it's just the rude, snide comments can be condescending, and I don't have time for that. Because if you feel that, and I'm just saying, if I'm in that spot, if you feel that someone is, they're too childish, then why aren't you dealing with a woman your age? Like I said, it really depends on how much older you're dealing with. So you can always kind of like throw that back in their face. You know what I'm saying? Like, why don't you deal with somebody that's your age then? And I'm talking about if you're dealing with somebody that's like 8, 10, 12 or beyond. Date somebody your own age. But you know why you chose a woman younger? Yeah, that's another rabbit hole. So on to the next. Okay. This is for the ladies that are dealing with guys that are like twice or more their age. Okay. And you know what I'm talking about. So if you are somebody that's in their 20s and you dealing with a guy that's in his 40s, 50s, or even 60s, hell, even 70s, because I ain't judging. Get do what you do, sis. But sometimes they have health issues, and you have to think, do you want to deal with that? Do you want to put up with that? Right? You do have a lot of, like I said, I'm not judging women who are sugar babies, so they don't mind, because hopefully no judgment, but hopefully you're written in the will, right? Like I said, I'm not judging, but my thing is, do you want to deal with that? What if you have children with them and they have health issues? So you got to think, okay, depending on their diagnosis, will that be passed on to your children? Will your children have to deal with that? Like, I don't know. Like, it's just something to think about. And I don't think people think about that when they are out here dating, looking for, to deal with an older man, an older gentleman. So something to consider, maybe even reconsider. So yeah, think about that. Another thing is they can be controlling, right? And there's different forms of, different things that they may try to control you on. One of them is financially. Okay, they'll try to dangle money, and and it's pretty tough, especially if you are living with them. If they're living with you, that's something to think about too. But either way, they would like to dangle money and play games, and I get it. If you're married, then I think you should hire a private investigator to find out what's going on. If you think that you are in a financial abuse situation, if you're not married, it's best that you just have your own money. So, you don't have to worry about waiting on for someone to give you any money. Money is freedom. Okay. I don't know who needs to hear this, but money is freedom. When I was coming up, I'm always told, and also dealing with older women, at my employment, they would tell me, you know, make sure that you have your own money. Make sure you have your own money. That way no one can, you know, dangle anything in front of you. You don't have to wait on anyone. You don't have to worry about someone controlling you. Whatever, you do what you want, buy what you want, move on. Okay, when you have your own money, you get to do whatever the heck you want. Okay, you don't have to rely on no one for anything. You want to come and go as you please, you do whatever. You want to buy whatever, you do what you need to do. So just something, you know, definitely one of the gems in this video, make sure that you have your own money. A lot of also too, tread wives, there's a, you know, thread on TikTok and YouTube about that. Listen to their stories and just take heed. Okay, and never think that it can't happen to you. Okay, because that is a misconception, because when it does, then what? So always make sure you have an education and make sure you have your own money, even if you have to save for a rainy day or some ish go down. And if you have children, you and your children can do what you need to do, move on to your next place. So yeah. Now, dealing with older men too, depending on the age. A lot of them are stuck in their ways, okay? Especially if you're dealing with someone in their 40s. Anyone specifically in their 40s and beyond. Now, some of them can start maybe in their late 30s, but for some reason, those that are in their 40s and beyond are stuck in their ways. It is very difficult, okay? Very difficult trying to get them to see the light on certain things, because a lot of them think they are know-it-alls. They've been here long enough. Can't nobody younger them tell them anything, you know. So you have some people where, male or female really, but you know, older generations, they think that they're know-it-alls and that they can't learn from the younger crowd. And you got to understand that things are changing every day. I'm never going to be the type of person to think that I can't learn from somebody younger. I don't, that's just not how I operate. That's not what I think. I just like I can learn from someone older than me, I can definitely learn from someone that's younger than me. So that's just my thing. But a lot of older people are stuck in their ways. So that's something to think about when dating an older man. The older you go, just know it's just difficult to deal with. So yeah. Some of them have addiction problems, okay? They do. They have addiction problems. And that can be gambling. It can be drinking. It can be, they want to be flashy and think they're part of like some young crowd because they're probably going through a midlife crisis. So they have to prove something and spend and get these sports cards. Like they just, it's an addiction. Like there's so many types of addiction out there. So you gotta understand who you're dealing with and if you're going to tolerate it. And don't tolerate it for the wrong reasons. For example, because you're saying because he financially takes care of you. That's something you need to think about. So yeah, like I said, a lot of them have addiction problems. So I guess you pick your poison if you're willing to deal with that. So on to the next. So I kind of spoke about this with the last one, is a lot of them go through midlife crisis. They realize, okay, one, they need to be blessed that, okay, God is, you know, keeping breath in their body for them to live as long as they are living. So if anything, that's a blessing in itself. But yeah, the midlife crisis thing, they realize that they're starting to look old. The body is changing. They can't eat and drink certain things like they used to when they were younger. Probably things below is looking kind of different. They're probably not as agile, whatever. So quick little story. I was traveling on the MASH transit train. I live in a big city, and there's a guy. He did not look his age. We was having like a small conversation. He was in his 60s, And he honestly did not look like he was in his 60s. Like, it looked like he really was taking care of himself. He said, he was telling me how he, works out, he eats healthy, and that's what you should be doing. Don't wait till something goes wrong and then you want to correct it. Okay, so yeah, he really did not look like he was in his 60s. He really didn't. So men like that, especially when they really take pride in the way that they dress, the way that they look, they smell, like, if anything, that's a plus, okay, in my book. Looking good, smelling good, eating right, whatever, is not only designated for women, even though there's a lot of, judgment towards women. Like, women have to be cookie cutter and look like this and all of that. Men should take pride in their looks and their health too. So like I said, don't wait till you have health issues and then you want to correct them, because it's like, what do you do? I mean, like I said, it's never too late. Do what you can, but while you're living, just take care of yourself, because you only have one body, and if you take care of it, it will take care of you. Okay, so I'm gonna leave it here with this last one. Let me know if you want a part 2 to this, because trust me, I have a lot more. So if you want a part 2, make sure you leave it down in the comment section, part 2. So this last one I will leave y'all with is, if you have children with an older man, like I said, it depends on how much older. If it's someone that's close to your age, I mean, that's not so bad, because at least you'll have a lot of things in common. Y'all will grow old together, blase, blase. But the older that you are dealing with, it can be challenging, because one, the positive would be because, okay, they're older, so they probably had children, and if they were active and involved, they already know, what to expect, what to do, blase, blase. If they never had children, then that's something that y'all gonna have to, experience together, if this is your first child and you're a younger woman dealing with the older man. So I don't know. I feel like too, when the older they are, they don't have the patience. And a lot of men of any age, once they have children, they really think that it is supposed to be the mom's responsibility, just because she's the woman and she's the one getting pregnant, even though she was impregnated. But they think that only women are supposed to deal with children all day, every day. I don't know what that's about, but yeah, it can be challenging. And as I've stated before, if they have health issues and you have children, that can be passed down to them depending on the diagnosis. So you have to think about that when dealing with an older man, having children with them. And I know some women, they have children with an older man, especially if they know that he has some type of status and he has money. Listen, no judgment, do you? But just take that into consideration when dating. And to be honest, you can have health issues at a young age, so I don't want to only just say, oh, well, because all older people, they have that's no, because there are some older people, like I stated earlier, the guy that's he looked like he takes care of himself. But I'm just saying, just take that into consideration, because when people do get older, they do tend to have health issues. So yeah, please take that into consideration. So yeah, that is it for today's video. This was for entertainment purposes. So yeah, let me know what have your experiences been if you have dated an older man. Was it a pro? Was it a con to you? Was it both? How did that work out? Once again, if y'all want a part 2, I could do a part 2 to this, because like I said, I have a lot more to say on this topic. So yeah, that is it for today's video. Please like, comment, share, and subscribe. And as always, I will see you in the next one. Bye now.